As noted by the Planning Board in number 3 of its May 29th comments, quote, we question why only the input of one religious organization, the Orthodox Jewish Coalition, was considered in connection with the drafting of the proposed local law. The proposed law is designed to favor one religious institution over another. We are concerned that it may be unconstitutional and prohibited pursuant to the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. That is not me saying it. That's not Coupon saying it. That is your planning board saying it. As written, the current law could overwhelm any other use in the village, residential or business, overwhelm resources like fire and police, water, sewer. It could subsume single-family neighborhoods, eradicate on-street parking in large parts of the village. It could irrevocably alter the character of the community, which is a real thing. Character of the community is a real thing. Your law, the proposed law, says that the village of Chestnut Ridge is, quote, largely high-quality, low-density, single-family detached neighborhoods of a quiet, wooded, and suburban character. This law will not preserve this character. On the contrary, it will destroy it. The environmental impacts of this law were briefly discussed by Mr. Sorensen. They were briefly discussed by the village's own planner. But let's take a look at what it might look like. The planning board notes, for example, with residential places of worship and neighborhood places of worship, there's no limit to how many that can be on a single block. If you have a residential place of worship that permits up to 60 people in it, the noise, the light pollution, the parking, safety issues. Think about noise. It's limited only to regularly occurring religious assemblies between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. That's the only time it's precluded, and it's only precluded if they're regularly occurring. Regularly occurring being defined as no more than 3 times a year. So what that means is, at least 3 times a year, all the limitations are off. Between 12 and 6 a.m., it's fine to have religious assemblies. It also is only limited to those regularly occurring religious assemblies. Weddings, bar mitzvahs, brit milot, all of that, those items, those celebrations, those religious ceremonies are not restricted in any fashion. So, the sky's the limit. Parking, to quote, again, not to quote directly, but to paraphrase the planning board, there's a total consensus on the planning board that all parking should be on site. If you're talking, again, up to 60 people, you're talking about 60, it potentially could be 60 cars. I mean, or you're also talking about, as the law is written, it says up to 1,500 feet beyond, which I believe the planning board notes is another quarter of a mile, you can have the individual sign to allow parking in their individual driveways. How would this possibly be enforced? Is the expectation that the village, with its limited resources, is going to be able to go and ask who's parking on the street? It's just not realistic. It's designed to be dismissed and not paid any attention to. Would people who are going, honestly, to worship in a house of worship, would they want to be asked for identification as they're leaving their cars? Would they want to be asked if they're an actual bona fide congregant of the house of worship? I don't think that those folks would like to have that sort of intrusive quality into their their constitutionally protected religious rights to worship. It doesn't work. Okay? There are automatic variances that are granted to residential places of worship. An area variance automatically only has to be a 20% area variance is granted to everyone seeking a residential place of worship. The maximum floor area ratio is increased over for single-family residences. The maximum lot coverage is increased. Let me ask you, if what we're talking about here is equality, about people being treated fairly along with their other brothers and sisters, why is this a giveaway to one group, one use? This is not fair. This is discriminatory. This is discriminatory against everyone. It's discriminatory against everybody except those individuals who managed to get their voices heard in some unscheduled meetings of which there are no records. What do streets look like with cars parked on them? There's a safety issue. How do emergency vehicles get to homes? There's discussion about, even if there's on-lot for up to 60 people, how are you going to get 60 people? Are you going to have cars parked on lawns? That's not going to look very nice in your beautiful village, to have cars parked on lawns. If cars are parked on lawns, how do emergency vehicles get to homes when someone has a medical emergency? Neighborhood places of worship, your own planning board recommends that that's too intense a use of property and it should be omitted from the law. That's my time? I didn't get my 1 minute. Okay. Thank you very much.
The Board of Trustees. Good morning, Mayor. Good afternoon. Good evening, Mayor Presti, Board of Trustees, residents of Chestnut Ridge. My name is Michael Glue. I'm an attorney with the law firm Cozen O'Connor, 45 Broadway, New York, right down the street from Mr. Green. He and I should have coffee one day and talk about Duluth, small D-E, capital L-E-E-U-W. I'm representing Coupon, and thank you. Things are pretty hot in here. I also would like to give a shout out to the people handing out water. That was very nice. I'm going to talk just briefly. I'm not going to use my 10 minutes. I'm going to use just a few minutes to talk about this law that we're hearing about, RLUIPA, the federal law that the mayor has said mandates this change to the zoning laws. I'm going to talk just a bit about that, and then I'm going to take the mayor's offer up and submit a paper that describes it more fully. But RLUIPA is a law that does not, in fact, mandate these changes. RLUIPA is a law that says essentially that in a village or a town or a county or a state, people need to be treated fairly and equally. You can't discriminate against one religion to favor another religion. You can't exclude altogether a religious assembly or people who want to create a church or a temple or anything like that. You can't exclude them completely. And that's never been the case here in Chestnut Ridge. Chestnut Ridge has welcomed and continues to welcome individuals and religious groups of every faith and denomination. It's a remarkable town for that purpose. The part of RLUIPA says that you cannot impose a substantial barrier on the exercise of religion. And I think that's what they're relying on in saying that you need to create this law. But it is not a substantial barrier to you can't avoid a substantial barrier by saying that you must be able to put a house of worship in every single house in the village. That is not what a substantial barrier is. No case has ever said that. The Supreme Court hasn't said it. No circuit court has ever said that. And the Justice Department is not coming down and making people change their zoning laws to say that. That's just not happening. Now, you guys are right to look at the entire thing and to consider a comprehensive plan and to consider the religious uses, because I think that you're right to do that. And I think everybody has a right to speak up, and this is a remarkable assembly for that purpose. But I think rushing to pass these laws, which are problematic, is a big mistake. And I think looking at a comprehensive plan, taking the time to do this correctly on all fronts, on the environmental front, listening to all constituencies, and still, I'm not saying that something like this shouldn't happen, but it should be done correctly and with the proper consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor. Is there any other attorneys who I might miss? Any other attorneys? Okay, there being none, we'll start with my
Your
list.
mic is not working.
We'll start with my list. Shane.
No mic.
Shane, talk away.
I have a prepared statement. My name is Shia Markowitz. I am CEO of Agudath Israel of America, a national organization founded in 1922 to advocate for the interests of the Orthodox Jewish community in particular and religious liberty in general. One of the issues we have been involved in throughout the country has been providing advice and guidance to, as well as speaking out on behalf of, religious institutions that are being prevented because of zoning laws or other local ordinances from establishing or building houses of worship and other structures within a community. I am here tonight to speak in support of the Orthodox Jewish Coalition of Chestnut Ridge, which is seeking very simply the ability to build and operate synagogues in the community so that they can participate in communal worship services. Communal worship services are central. Communal worship services are central to our religious beliefs. The current zoning law.
No one interrupted! No one interrupted! No one moved! So how about you be quiet and respect? Be quiet!
Why don't you say something
The
again?
current zoning laws of Chestnut Ridge, which prohibit building houses of worship on lots of less than 5 acres, effectively bar all religious groups from building places for communal prayer because lots larger than 5 acres are few and far between in this community. For members of our community, the current zoning laws are quite frankly the equivalent of posting signs to the effect that, in quotes, no Orthodox Jews welcome. to propose amendments to the zoning laws so as to accommodate the ability of members of our community and those of other faith communities who also wish to engage in communal worship to be able to build houses of worship. We, of course, agree that this should be done in such a way as to preserve the residential character of the neighborhood, and we believe that this can be done successfully, just as it has been done in many other communities throughout New York and New Jersey. We greatly appreciate the village's willingness to consider amending its zoning laws in order to accommodate the building of places of worship. The Chestnut Ridge zoning laws, as they are currently constructed, in all practicality bar the building of houses of worship entirely and are an affront to the free exercise of religion, which is one of the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States. This is definitely one of the people's bedrock rights that has made America the great country that it is. They are also, we believe, a violation of federal law, in particular the Religious Land Use Act. We as an organization would be prepared to help defend the legal rights of members of the Orthodox Jewish community of Chestnut Ridge to build houses of worship in their community. We all hope that this issue can be resolved as promptly as possible in a peaceful and amicable way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue with the rest of our list, but just as a reminder, okay, as a reminder, I understand this is a very passionate and a very emotional issue. I understand that the room is filled with opinions, the room is filled with emotion, okay? Now, it seems, however, that we need to have a little bit of understanding that all folks that speak are entitled to the courtesy to speak. Whether you agree or you disagree with what they have to say, it is only fair that everyone has a chance to speak. Because when you start speaking, when they're speaking, you're eating away at their time, and that's not fair. Wouldn't you agree? So, that having been said, I would just ask that you please show some courtesy, some patience, and let the speaker speak. Thank you. I'm also told that there are folks that may be illegally parked outside on the grass and things of that nature, and Ramapo PD are giving us the courtesy to let people know they should be moving their cars if they're not legally parked. Thank you. Next on our list is Becker. Is it Becker?
Good evening. My name is Penny Drescher, 50 East Warren. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here tonight. Does this work? I'm sure it's not easy for many of you to come out here on a weeknight to come and sit or stand for hours. Thank you for taking the time to discuss this very important issue of rezoning to accommodate places of worship. When the village of Chestnut Ridge was established back in 1986, the original homeowners were committed to preserving this beautiful area in a manner that would allow them to reside and raise their families in a calm, quiet, and well-maintained environment. Some of those original owners are still part of Chestnut Ridge, and they may be in attendance here tonight, because they want to ensure that this village remains in sync with its original vision. When it came time for my wife and I to purchase a home for our family several years ago, we chose Chestnut Ridge, since we were really impressed by the quiet and well-kept neighborhood. We consider ourselves fortunate to be part of a core of young members in this well-established community. It truly is an honor to be part of Chestnut Ridge. And just as with the homeowners that lived here before us, we aim to take care of our home so that it will be a special place for our family while maintaining its delightful appearance to all who pass by. We always strive to demonstrate our neighborhoodliness, to follow the village rules. Our children know to put away their toys when they're not in use.
Have some courtesy. Have some courtesy.
Our grass is mowed and landscaping is well maintained. These are some of the smaller ways that our family seeks to demonstrate good neighborliness the Chestnut Ridge way. Sure, I may have a busy day. I'm a social worker, clinical director, and owner of a small business in Spring Valley with over 25 employees. But being a good neighbor is still so important to me. By all of us putting in the necessary effort, we can ensure that Chestnut Ridge will continue to be beautiful in the way that it has been since its inception. 1 minute. I am here tonight to show my support to the village officials as they work to update the zoning laws, which would allow for a house of worship to be built within Chestnut Ridge. This will allow my family, including my young children, to walk to our designated prayer venue, currently up to 20 minutes walk each way, multiple times over a weekend. As you can imagine, it is tremendously difficult. I look forward to many years as a proud resident of Chestnut Ridge, to being a supporter of so many of the values that make this village the place that it is today. The very values that brought many of us here tonight with the common goal of keeping this beautiful and quiet village that it is today. I am hopeful that we can work together tonight as neighbors. Community members to maintain a peaceful lifestyle that accommodates all families, including those with various cultural and religious beliefs.
Good evening. It's an honor, a true honor for me. My name is Mucky Braun. It's a true honor for me to be a resident of Chestnut Ridge. This is Chestnut Ridge of New York, of the United States of America. The great country, we have freedom of expression, and thank you all for coming, and let me tell you.
Name and address, man. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please extend the courtesy that you would expect.
You said it.
You know what? Shouting back and forth, that's not the way to do it. It is not the way to do it.
Put your hand over your mouth.
Thank you. Thank you. Show some courtesy, please. Thank you.
Put your hand over your mouth. That's the way to do it.
I live
We know.
7 Robin Road.
We know it's broken.
Thank you. I grew up in Rockland County. I have great memories of my childhood, especially when it's a summer day. I remind myself of those days spending family time in the backyard on our private property, with the green woods behind us, and I walked through the woods, which probably 5 feet by 10, but to me it was a world. Seeing all the animals and nature was so important to me. It's my childhood. I remember when I was 6 or 7 years old, my mother was planting a garden, and I helped her plant some plants. Every single morning, I would wake up, run outside, and see what's happening. When those cucumbers started growing, I felt so proud. Those shiny red tomatoes, and forget about those juicy strawberries. I enjoyed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone has an opportunity to speak. They can speak whatever they would like to say. Okay, now, this is how you can come up. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Please. All right? Let's take a breath. Take a breath.
When I got married to my wife in 2001, we moved out of town because I was studying. In 2010, it was time to build our house, to move, to purchase a home, and I expressed to my wife my dream I've had. Growing up in Rockland County was a beautiful childhood. It was a safe environment. It wasn't overpopulated. My wife is from the city, where there's no property, everybody was on top of each other, no such thing as privacy, unclean here, garbage everywhere, and that was not a home that I wanted to raise my children. We came back to Rockland County and we found the perfect place, Chestnut Ridge. Thank you to the board for keeping the character of Chestnut Ridge. It's important to me, that's why I moved here. When I come home from a long day of work, I work upstate, I manage a company of over 30 employees. When I come home and I can sit in my backyard and drink that cup of coffee and look at my children, enjoying the memories that I have, but they're experiencing the excitement, and I want it to stay that way. I want them to enjoy that garden they have in the backyard. And I'm so happy to be a member of Chestnut Ridge. However, there's one difficulty. Even though I cherish the 15-minute walk I had with my 3 boys outside of the neighborhood on Saturday to go pray, and thank you to the village for taking that into consideration and figuring out how we can have a house of worship. However, there's one thing that I'm trying to understand, and that is to have the house of worship, and we don't want the cars parking on the road. To have sufficient parking on the property. Have sufficient parking here, in the back. Put nice trees and a garden in the front. However, but make it nice and respectful to keep the character. And that way, we can all be proud with God's gift that He gave us to live in the United States of America and to be a member of Chestnut Ridge and I hope you can continue to give my children the great memories that I have. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman. Next on the list is Mr. Lieberson. Mr. Lieberson. Folks, the one poll teacher is telling me that you really can't be congregating in the center of these exit aisles like this. If you want to come in, if you want to move to the front row over here, please, so you can sit. You guys keep the exits open. God forbid there's an emergency. It's going to be very hard to get through this. So please move in. You'll have to either find a spot to sit on the inside row, or if there's any open seats, folks, if there's any open seats up top, if you can raise your hand, there's some seats up on the top, way up in the back, folks, so there are seats, but you gotta open up those exit aisles, please, for safety purposes. So please open it up. There are plenty of seats, believe it or not, up on top, and there's still some around. So, folks, you folks that are sitting right in the center there, you gotta move. You gotta move. You gotta either move up to the top of it so the seats are open over here. Not to be permitted to continue with the meeting until the front here is opened up for the exit.
I'm getting all the audio. Yeah. Hello.
Again, folks, you're in the aisle. That's good. You can't be standing. That's why you're There's still some seats up top.
Folks in the middle there, in the middle, you must move. You gotta clear the whole aisle, or we can't continue. You gotta clear the aisle, we can't continue.
Actually, folks, if you are up top and there are seats next to you, perhaps if you can maybe just move in so that the open seats will be on the aisle so people will be able to see too. That would be appreciated. Thank you very much up top. That's appreciated. So folks, there are seats up top. People will move in where they can move in. Thank you, ladies.
Can people hear me okay everywhere? Yes? Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. My name is Jerry Lieberson. I live at 31 Midway Road. I won't yell into the microphone, and I suggest everybody
who comes up, try to find the right spot, adjust the height, so we're not yelling at each other, because the medium is the message, and a yelling voice, it just doesn't matter what you say, but if you're yelling at people, it's not going to come through, okay? I grew up in this neighborhood from when I was 4 years old. That's 1962. And I attended only the public schools. I graduated from Spring Valley Senior High in 1976. In ninth grade, I was first saxophone in the school band, and I played a solo right here on this stage when this school was first built. I am the one-man show who created the lawn signs, the colored mailer card that went out. It went out to 4,000 households and businesses, basically everybody in Chestnut Ridge. I think there were a few errors in the postal mail route, but basically everybody got the card. I also did 350 copies of my black and white flyer stapled to the full text of the proposed law, which I'm sure
Baking soda?
I stapled the flyer, 350 copies of it, to the proposed text of the proposed laws, left it in all the local establishments, because you would be hard-pressed to have found the text on the website. And I also did the handout for tonight's meeting. I'm sorry if I ran out. I only printed 400 copies, but you can email me and get that, plus a lot more. I urge you to read it. It will supplement my comments to follow, which I will be submitting to the record. I want them submitted entirely for the record. I will give the village clerk a copy. I endorse the comments and recommendations that the planning board, not this board, the planning board, this is the board of trustees, just for a little civics for you, that the planning board has submitted to the trustees about these proposed zoning changes. Specifically, the village, above all, should adopt a comprehensive master plan before entertaining the proposed local law. And the proposed law may be unconstitutional pursuant to the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. That's the planning board. Residents like you. Now, we all have First Amendment rights under this nation's Constitution. The First Amendment declares religious freedom and prohibits religious establishment. Municipalities like ours must strike a fair balance with respect to both clauses. Both. This proposed law strikes no such balance because it would radically alter the character, yes, the character and quality of life in every residential neighborhood in this village for the purposes of it would radically alter it for the purposes of religious worship alone. And then there's the issue of code enforcement. Remember that? Even properly drafted laws.
15 seconds.
What? You're good. I read, this is on the
Hey, the
front.
last speaker didn't have that. Good job, Eric.
This, even properly drafted laws will count for nothing if the village continues its long-standing track record of seriously deficient and selective enforcement of the law. Already, we have several residences known to the village building department whose converted spaces a little more if you want.